Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15.
I'm not interested in taking anything from anyone.
I know food prices are up, and we're going to bring them down.
President Biden dealing with some more difficult polling, political flipping and flopping and flipping and flopping, and also some heartwarming kids' stories, especially from the classrooms of America. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from a dingy bunker completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in to Daily Caller Live. On today, it is February 11th, the year of our Lord 2022, a Friday, heading into the weekend, and things on a lighter-ish note, kind of, a little bit. Whew, I'm exhausted. Had a busy last couple days traveling all over the place, talking to people, all that sort of stuff. But glad you're here, glad you're with us. I know we talk about Biden polling a decent amount on this show, but it isn't getting any better, especially for the president. Got a really interesting clip coming from Jake Tapper on CNN. Look, CNN is in an interesting place. I don't know if you remember when CNN was like the gold standard of hard, middle-of-the-road journalism. And then they lost their freaking minds for the last 6 years. But Jake Tapper's still over there, and sometimes he loses his mind a little bit too. But also is pretty good at reporting things that need to be reported, aka Biden's tanking polling numbers, and also China. Want to get to this clip, but before that, I got to tell you about this, because we're going to talk about this in this clip. It's inflation. Inflation is going up. You've seen gas prices going up. You've seen prices for food going up. Inflation is through the roof at an almost 40-year high. The last president who had to deal with this was Reagan. He said inflation was just as bad as a mugger in the middle of the night and just as violent as a thief that would take all of your money from you. You need to protect yourself against inflation because inflation is going to steal your savings. How do you do that? Well, the best way to protect yourself against inflation is invest in gold. You might be thinking, I don't know how to invest in gold. That's totally fine. Our friends at Birch Gold will tell you how to invest in gold. If you text JOBOB to 989898, that's Jobob to 989898. I know you have your phone sitting right next to you on your counter here. Just text those words, and our friends at Birch Gold will send you a free, no obligation, no cost information kit that tells you everything you need to know about investing in gold, but also protecting your savings. If you have an existing IRA, if you have an existing 401k, you can roll those into a gold-backed IRA and protect yourself against the government devaluing the US dollar. Do it today. Friend to a friend. It's an advertisement, but at the same time, it's a advice that you need to take. I am so leveraged in gold right now, and I'm worried about inflation for the country, but my savings is protected. So do it today. Text JOBOB to 989898 and protect yourself against the government sabotaging the US dollar. Back to this. This is from Jake Tapper on CNN last night, talking about the president's dismal approval rating and polling when it comes to the job that he's doing. Americans, I think it was 55% of Americans, Joe Biden has done absolutely nothing. Now, 55% of Americans, if you were to simply just think about it for a second, is Republicans, is independents, and is Democrats. You don't get a 55% of America saying one thing and just being one party. Watch this from CNN.
Worries come as we learn inflation is near a 40-year high, climbing 7.5% in just 12 months. We learned today from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's the steepest rise since 1982. President Biden today acknowledging that inflation is putting stress on Americans' budgets. It's also a huge political liability for President Biden. A new CNN poll today shows that nearly 6 in 10 Americans disapprove of Biden's performance as president. Much of that is driven by his handling of the economy. 62% of Americans disapprove of Biden's handling of the economy, while 37% approve.
Holy cow. Again, it isn't shocking to anybody. If you're commenting on this, let me know in the comment section. Are you shocked by a 62% disapproval rating with how he's handling the economy? The economy itself is very, very hot. All the economic indicators show the economy itself, things are moving, things are actually going. But with a super hot economy, you get super inflation, 7.5% year over year, which is ridiculous. 2 days ago, Joe Biden actually came out and started talking about it. Look, if you haven't already, I know there's a bunch of you watching. Click the little like button, click the little share button. It really helps us out. Really, really appreciate you doing that when you do it. Excuse me. But the president, a couple days ago, started finally talking about inflation and acknowledging, yeah, things are a little bit high. Watch this from an event Joe Biden did the other day.
The fact is that we're in a situation now where, you should have peace of mind. I know food prices are up, and we're working to bring them down. As I said, I grew up in a family where the price at the pump went up, you felt it, and I understand. But these things are necessities. We're working to bring down prices where they're not totally what families, in fact, have to pay now.
He kind of lost himself, went rambling off. I saw this comment from Mark. This was interesting. I'm shocked 37% think it's good. Yeah, Mark, how? I'm going to be vague about this, but a person that I know very, very well was talking to another person that I know pretty well. And the person that I know very well talking to the other person said, yeah, Joe Biden's doing a great job. The response was, how? How do you think that? What do you give me one example of things that are getting done very, very well? More people have died in the COVID pandemic than the previous administration. Inflation is through the freaking roof. Jobs numbers keep missing every single month, not to mention all of the foreign problems that he's had. China being one, the Olympics, Afghanistan, obviously a huge one, Ukraine, Russia. Holy cow, in what world are the 37% of people looking at all of this? And I'm talking about like super lefty Democrats, too, are looking at the administration going, what in the world? Bill Maher, the pride and joy of the very, very left, is also just like, dude, what is happening here? So, yeah, Mark, to say, shocking that 37% of people think it's good. Yeah, how is it that high? Who are those 33? Eduardo says, who are those 33%? I can't say the rest of what you said in the comment section here, but yeah, I can't disagree with you there. It's pretty crazy. But let's bring it down a little bit, because I feel like it is what it is. The country is doing what it's doing. I was talking at an event last night, and the one thing that I think is a little bit optimistic for the country is that there's a lot of people that have been politically disengaged. I know you probably have a lot of friends like, I don't follow politics. I don't do politics. I'm not involved in politics in any way, shape, or form. I guess one of the silver linings and the glimmer of hope is that this administration is doing everything it can to push people who haven't been paying attention to politics into curiosity. Not necessarily to the other side, but into that realm of being curious about, wait a minute, why are things going so poorly? Why is it that inflation is through the roof? Why is it that my gas prices are higher? My energy costs are higher? Why is it that my grocery costs are higher? Why is it that I don't feel safe in the area that I live in that used to be very safe? If there is a silver lining to all of the things the administration has done, it's to push people who were politically disengaged or just voted one way because the media told them to, into the realm of curiosity. Now, it's my job and your job and our job as a rational society to bring them in to reason. Which, again, if that is the silver lining here in all of this, I'll take it. I want to get to this. You guys remember Beto O'Rourke? Beto O'Rourke ran for president last cycle. Did not do well at all. He ran for Senate against Ted Cruz in Texas in 2018. Then he ran for president in 2020. Lost both of those. Now he's running for governor of the state of Texas. And I can imagine He is not going to do well there either. But he said some really interesting things on the presidential trail in 2019 that I want to bring to your attention, and I think are hilarious. Just the political flip-flopping that goes back and forth depending on what these people are running for is hilarious. So I want to play these clips for you, but before I do that, I got to tell you one more time about inflation. We've been talking about inflation for the last however long. I know you're tired of hearing about it, but the reality is that inflation is affecting you in your everyday life. It's affecting your savings, it's affecting your buying power, it's affecting the value of the US dollar, the currency in which you use. How do you protect yourself against inflation? Ronald Reagan had to deal with inflation in the 80s. So inflation is going to steal your money like a thief in the middle of the night. The government craves higher inflation. So you need to protect yourself. It's at a 40-year high, 7.5% year over year. How do you do that? Well, you invest in gold. Do you have any gold? Buy gold, Sonny. That guy was right. You should buy gold. But buying gold doesn't necessarily mean getting a truck, backing it up, dumping gold in the ground and burying it in your backyard. It could mean getting an IRA that you already have or a 401k that you already have rolled into a gold-backed IRA. And our friends at Birch Gold can help you do that. If you text JOBOB to 989898, that's Jobob to 989898, our friends at Birch Gold will send you a no-risk, no obligation, no nothing packet with everything you need to know about investing in gold, but also protecting your savings. Birch Gold is an A-plus rated Better Business Bureau company that has helped thousands of people across the country invest in gold, but more importantly, protect their savings. Protect your savings today by investing in gold and thwarting the government sabotaging the value of the US dollar by texting JOBOB to 989898. That's Jobob to 989898. Political flip-flops. I'm flipping, I'm flopping, I'm flipping, flopping. Who was that? I think it was George Bush versus John Kerry when I first learned the term flip-flopper. In my mind, when I hear flip-flop, I think John Kerry with his little thumb point thing going, and then Bush calling him, yeah, you're a flip-flopper. Well, the flip-flopping has not gone away. Check out this clip from Beto O'Rourke. First things first. Do you guys remember Beto O'Rourke? America's favorite furry rock musician? He ran for Senate against Ted Cruz in 2018, ran for president in 2020, and is now running for Texas governor. On the 2019 presidential campaign leading up to the 2020 race, in 2019, during the Democratic debates, Beto O'Rourke said, hell yeah, we're going to take your AR-15s. Listen to this clip.
You said, quote, Americans who own AR-15s and AK-47s will have to sell them to the government, all of them. No, the critics call this confiscation. Are you proposing taking away their guns, and how would this work?
I am. If it's a weapon that was designed to kill people on a battlefield. Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
So that clip didn't age well because then we go into 2020 and if I were to argue against this point, which I don't think I need to, but if I were to say something, I think we've learned that AR-15 is not used to attack your fellow citizens, but instead possibly to protect yourself against a tyrannical government. If you need to do that. There's more to that argument. I know a bunch of people who are against that sort of thing would be like, well, you can't fight the government with rifles. They have tanks. Yeah, that's not the point. The point, I don't even need to get into that right now. But basically, Beto O'Rourke said, we're going to take your AR-15s. Okay, Beto, Robert, which is his real name. Now that he's running for governor of Texas, in which case, in a state where that's not going to fly, he was asked about those remarks that he made in 2019, and he said this.
Took a question about his controversial stance on guns and those 2019 remarks about taking away AR-15s and AK-47s.
I'm not interested in taking anything from anyone. What I want to make sure that we do is defend the Second Amendment. I want to make sure that we protect our fellow Texans far better than we're doing right now, and that we listen to law enforcement, which Greg Abbott refused to do, turned his back on when he signed that permitless carry bill that endangers the lives of law enforcement in a state that has seen more cops and sheriff's deputies gunned down than in any other.
So I think Texans need to let that guy talk as much as he wants, because it seems as though the more he talks, the deeper he digs himself into the hole that is his poll rating in Texas. There's just that. Beto, what a funny guy. Maybe we'll play the furry band clip. You don't remember that? Beto dressed up as a bunny rabbit in the past and played rock and roll music. I should have pulled that clip to show you also. But yeah, so the political reversal thing is hilarious. This happens constantly in politics. They say one thing, and then a couple years later, running for a different seat, now we're saying a different thing. You want to talk values amongst politicians? And I'm not talking about just one side of the aisle necessarily. Politicians in general will say anything they need to get elected. Clearly, Beto wants to take everybody's guns, but is now saying, I'm not interested in taking anything from anybody. Sure thing, Beto. This is just, all this is a warning or a big old sign that says, hey, politicians will say or do anything. The less faith you have in politicians, the better. But that's enough of that. Let's get to the heartwarming part. I put in the title that there's heartwarming parts to this today. This is both heartwarming and disgusting. The video itself is great. It is great, and we'll talk about why it's also possibly a little bit disgusting later. Listen to this clip. So if you're just listening to this on the podcast, this is a group of kids in a classroom when the teacher made an announcement. Watch this. This is great.
Starting tomorrow, we don't have to wear masks anymore.
These kids are so excited to not wear masks. Jumping up and down.
Is anybody excited?
That was adorable. That's a great thing to look at on a Friday. Loved seeing this. Totally awesome. That's what Tim said. Tim said, totally awesome. Love seeing this. Jan said, yes. Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see a bunch of kids jumping up and down because they don't have to wear masks anymore. That particular video took place in Nevada. Governor of Nevada on Thursday lifted Nevada's mask mandate to be worn in indoor public places. Though school districts and businesses still have the discretion to require masks if they so choose. That'll be its own argument for a different time. But that particular school is letting their mask mandate go, and the kids couldn't be more excited. Let me see. Yeah, Margaret said, that is beautiful. We also got this comment, that classroom is so beautiful. Here's the problem. And this is what Christina pointed out in the comment section. Poor babies. This is why it's also disgusting. We're going to look back on this moment in time in horror of what we did to kids. We've known for a very, very long time, while that video is awesome and it's great to see how happy those kids are that they finally get to take their masks off in the classroom, I think we're going to look back on this and be horrified at what we did to kids for the last 2 years. Not only just the mask thing, but the distance learning thing where nobody learned anything. Despite teachers' best efforts. I'm not trying to criticize teachers here because I know teachers were put in a terrible situation and tried to make best out of just a bad hand that they were dealt. But we're going to look back on this and say this stuff lasted way too long. And while this is a beautiful picture of classrooms celebrating and cheering, It is in effect going to be a terrible thing that we look back on and hopefully never do again. So there's that. A lot of great comments coming in saying, floating the lines between childhood being, yes, very excited for the kids and their family. Jamie says, so happy for the kids and their families. Yeah, absolutely. We got a bunch of other comments too, especially from Jan saying child abuse. Yeah. So there's two sides to this story. It's both heartwarming that these kids are so excited they finally get to see each other's faces and interact on an emotional level with each other and their teachers. But at the same time, holy cow, how did we let this happen for as long as it did? Still, some states are continuing to do mask mandates. I want to end this on a lighter note. Friday going into the weekend. I am not sure when this clip took place. I don't know if this was recently. I don't know if this was 2 years ago, anytime in that gap. But it was floating around the internet recently. And regardless of when it was taken, it's as ridiculous as it's going to be. Check this clip out from a guy making a plea to criminals around the country in the wake of COVID-19.
And let me just make my plea. Until the coronavirus is resolved, criminals take a break. Okay? Stay home. Okay? Stay home. And don't commit any crimes. And that way, they'll stay safe and out of jail. And police officers will stay safe and can go home to their families. Okay? So everybody chill. Crooks, criminals, you chill. Wait till the coronavirus is over. Okay? And then we'll all be okay.
Everybody chill. Just wait till... Why hasn't anybody suggested this yet? Finally! Somebody is saying to the criminals, hey, just wait till the coronavirus is over. What is he then saying after it's over? Is he... In that statement... Look, I don't want to make fun of this guy too much, but... it is interesting to point out the fact that some people apparently think like this. And if there are some people that think that this type of thing will work, how many of them are there? Hey, criminals, just chill for right now. Just wait till the coronavirus is over. Not only is one, that's not going to work, but two, what are you saying? After coronavirus is over, we can not chill anymore? After the pandemic is over, feel free, have at it. Go rob stores, go loot businesses. That's totally fine. Just wait till the coronavirus is over. Again, I have no idea when this was taken. But Thomas, I got the same thoughts. You have got to be kidding me. Is this real? Is this really happening? Are we really here right now looking at this? That's going to do it for us this week. I am tired. I appreciate you guys sticking with me the whole week. We were out in Phoenix yesterday, did a bunch of stuff. We're speaking at an event last night. I'm exhausted, so thanks for sticking with me, especially on the weekend. I'm excited for the weekend. There's some interesting stuff happening over the weekend that I think is going to be interesting to bring to Monday's show. So we'll be back here, same time, same place, Monday morning, talking about, it's Monday morning Valentine's Day? What is that? Is that the 14th? 11, 12, 13. It is. Monday is Valentine's Day. We'll have a special Valentine's Day episode. We probably won't, but tune in Valentine's Day, Monday, same time, same place. We'll be right here. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of the social media platforms. Just type in JOBOB to pretty much anywhere you'll find me. I am hilarious on Twitter and Instagram. So if you have those two social media accounts, or Getter or YouTube or Facebook or any of those, follow me and appreciate some laughs maybe. You can also send me stories. A bunch of people send me a lot of different things every single day, and I look at most of them and actually bring some of them on the show. So if there's anything happening in your neck of the woods, that's the best way to get a hold of me through social media. Lastly, I get a bunch of different questions on where do I get the shirts? I'm not wearing a funny shirt today, but you can also, on my social media accounts, you can buy the what? Joe Biden t-shirt. There's the Corruptifornia t-shirt that you can buy. You can buy the Capitalism Rocks t-shirt. All of those are available on my social media platforms. You can buy them in the Facebook store, the Instagram store. Go to capitalistpropaganda.us. Maybe I'll start wearing some of those t-shirts in hilarious fashion again next week. But that's going to do it for this week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. God bless America.